this video has been a long time coming. I've been working on it for about a month and a half, maybe longer, and I apologize for not being faster on the uploads. Yeah, I'm still getting into the swing of things, and I apologize. But so I met a guy in my neighborhood who's an older fisherman. No offense on that, but he is older than me, and he swears by this lure. It's called the L&S Bassmaster, and apparently they don't make this lure anymore. So you can only buy them on like eBay or like secondhand shops, that sort of thing. So I saw the lure, and it looked like a pretty easy build. So this is my attempt at making one. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for tuning in and watching this video. If you have any suggestions for future videos, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy. Luckily, I found online this picture of some L&S Bassmasters, and right there at the bottom was a ruler. So on the computer, I just set it up so that way the measurement on the top was equal to the measurement of this ruler, inch for inch. So this is the exact size profile of the L&S Bassmaster. I took a couple other photos online to figure out the profile, or the bird's eye view and the bottom view of these things. And yeah, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it out and glue it to a piece of wood and get to work in here. We're going to make a couple of these. Okay, we're just going to glue this on now. L&S Lure Company, I guess is what you would call it. The L&S stands for Lemaster and Schreiner, and it was started in 1933. Much like Rapala, I guess Lemaster used to make these Shiner minnow like lures out of wood, and his friends would say, "Hook me up, bro," and except for probably whatever they would say at the time, more like, "I do say, gentleman, would you hand me a lure, please?" Or whatever the heck they would say. Yeah, anyway, Jarrod Lemaster made these lures, and he stopped making them in 1946 because, you know, the war, and everybody had to give their things to the war effort. And then in 1950, they started back up and had a second location in Clearwater, Florida, and it was very successful. L&S is still in business today and has produced many famous lures. The L&S Bassmaking Company first began in the 1930s, like I said, and they were wooden lures, and they were known as the Lemaster Shiner minnow, and it was produced up until World War II, which, dang, I just already said all that. These are really good notes. Following the war, the company began making the well-known plastic version of their lures in 3 different sizes: the Panfish Master, 2.5 inch, the Bassmaster at 3 inch, the Pike Master at 3 3/4, and then later other sizes were added, including the Spin Master at 1.5 inch. Isn't a Spin Master a type of workout equipment? And then, yeah, the Muskie Master at 4 3/4 inch, which is actually kind of small for a muskie lure. The earlier plastic lures had opaque colors and opaque eyes. Later, the eyes were changed to a more realistic look and were transparent. In the early 1950s, new colors were added to the L&S line, which had a built-in flash and were referred to as Miro lures. It is somewhat easy to distinguish the earlier L&S plastic lures from the later ones, since the metal lips were marked with the word Miro lure. They also had the style and model number marked on them too. One unusual difference in some of these lures is that sometimes they said Miro lure and sometimes they said Miro lure, so they weren't really sure what they were going with. Colors of these lures were almost infinite. The early plastic ones came in 12 colors, including the ever-popular red head with a white body, and a frog-spotted one called yellow-bellied greenback. Today, very early wooden lures with the painted eyes are sought by collectors at prices as high as $300 to $400, according to Carl White's book. The plastic guys, however, are a bit more reasonably priced and can be picked up for as little as $5 or usually somewhere around $10 to $20 on eBay. So, for the paint job on this lure, I was not 100% sure what to go with, but I'm wanted to go with something that kind of resembles something of the earlier time of the L&S Bassmaster, so I'm going with the yellow belly with like a green, almost black back with a painted on eye. So that's what I'm doing right here. And yeah, I think I'm also going to do a little bit of some scale pattern on here to bring it into more of like a modern look. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing the paint on eye though, just to make it look more authentic to its original form. And then we'll get out on the water and try it out. So yay, facts are done. I'm done talking about the L&S company. Okay. Light is not great, but this is pretty old school looking and I like it, so I'm going to keep it this way, but I'm about to do something to give it a little bit more flash, literally. So yeah.
there was some ice by the pond that I live next to, and I was worried that there wouldn't be any open water Maybe that's wishful thinking for ice fishing season to begin, but there is open water, so I can test out the L&S Bassmaster that I just finished making. So let's go out to the water and see if this thing actually works. Fingers crossed. Let's go.
There it is. The lake monster version of the L&S Bassmaster, touching the water for the very first time, sinking in the water for the very first time, and it does wobble. All right. I mean, I can't see it. It's supposed to be a surface or subsurface on, like, that was my hope. But the original L&S actually is more of like a swim bait, and this is working in that sense. And it does have a swim to it. Man, I think if the water was still warm, this thing could be lethal. The action, which you cannot see, unfortunately, is good. It's doing things, man. It is a swim bait for sure. I can feel it moving back and forth as I'm reeling in, knocking around off of stuff like a square bill. Swimming. It's a swimming swimmer, man. Swimming swimmer. Unfortunately, like I said, water temperature is extremely cold. There's ice on the other side of the pond where it's more shallow all the way across. And this is still relatively deep, but it's basically, it's winter conditions out here. She's moving. I would like to see it like move a little bit more. Tangled up on a leaf here. A little bit more body wiggle would have been nice. And that could just be where I have the line tie situated a little bit lower. And it would be swimming a little bit more. But I have every bit of confidence that this would catch a fish if the water temperature was warmer. Very cool. Very, very cool. But also just too cold. Look, guys. Ice. There's ice built up on the reel. And so to me that means we're going to have to call this L&S Bassmaster, guys. Well, it's going to be a long winter of builds without catching fish, but please keep staying tuned, subscribe it, and I will see you on the next one. Later, guys.